Okay, y'all, we're back on Miracles of Christmas. And we're finally into this past week. So I am caught up now, even though y'all know I'm running behind because anytime you see me switch my wig within 24 hours means I got up early to do my hair, and that was not part of my normal schedule. Anyway, let's get into this review. A Dance in the Snow premiered on Hallmark Mystery, aka Miracles of Christmas, last Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Now, this particular movie is another autism story about children with autism. Now, if you remember last year, Hallmark also did a movie over on Miracles of Christmas about autism, and they gave death and dying Nikki DeLoach the lead in that. And that to me was just like, okay. After Megan, I think, watched that one, she was just like, she's not tuning into any more of these movies. And I saw some comments on the Hallmark Mystery Facebook page that said something very similar, that usually these movies are very stereotypical. They're not realistic, dealing with the disability of autism. And a lot of people have autistic kids or autistic family members. And so it's a sensitive subject. So when I saw A Dance in the Snow premiere, I was like, I don't really know what to expect, but I'm going there because I'm a big fan of Erica Sierra anyway. So I'm like, let me go in there and see like what's going on. Let me tell you, this is going to be the first 10 that I'm giving out this season between both of the channels. And they get that extra point for an original storyline. I know a lot of Hallmarkies sometimes prefer the recycled storylines back to back. But I told you, I'm a writer. So one of the things I look at when I review these things is the writing, the acting, the directing, the producing. I look at, is it an original storyline? Is it something that's going to make my heart melt? Let me just tell you something. I kept saying through this movie, they're so cute. They're so cute. They're so cute. They're so cute. And it's like this movie made my heart flutter, and I just felt like I was really in the Christmas spirit. And for those of you who don't remember, like December's December's the hardest time of year for me, okay? I've lost some family members that mean the world to me in the month of December. I've never been into Christmas. I don't even think as a child Christmas was a big deal. For me, and so I'm just always trying to get through this month, and this is the month that reminds me that I haven't accomplished all the goals I wanted to for the year, so it tends to be the month that I just don't feel all that good about myself either. So it's not that easy to sit here and watch a billion Christmas movies, whereas I'm a huge Hallmark fan but not really a Christmas person. So A Dance in the Snow, let me step out of the way so you guys can once again see the full heading, deserves the 10 that it's about to get. I told Megan that she should watch it. I know she's been super busy. She's barely been watching any of the Hallmark movies this year, so she's really been depending on my recommendations. And there's a few things like the Christmas Quest that she got to before I did, because she had higher hopes for it. But, you know, in general, I told her she had to watch. Okay, so let's get into the premise. The premise of this is Melanie is raising her teenage autistic daughter, Jenny. And one of the things she learned about autism as she was raising Jenny is that there were tons of resources when Jenny was a child. But as she grew into being a teenager and being in high school and being on her senior year of high school, as the years have passed by, there were not a lot of resources for children, autistic children, as they get older. So Melanie quit her job like the good mom she is and created the Possible Center, where it's a center for autism where children can come, they can read, they can hang out. It is a place to provide resources. They do field trips. I mean, this is a wonderful idea. And even though this is a movie, it's probably very true that there's more resources for autistic kids when they're younger than when they start to become young adults. And that's a big problem in our country. So I thought this movie addressed a great issue, but it did it with such finesse. I thought the writing was so good. There were two love stories going on. There was Melanie, the mother, falling in love with Daniel, Jenny's teacher. Jenny's falling in love for the first time with another autistic kid, Will. And the interesting thing is, this movie addresses that autism is very different. Like, Will and Jenny were on different parts of the spectrum. And so different things triggered them. But yet they bonded together. Like, I just kept oohing and eyeing through this movie and saying, like, I really enjoyed it. I was rooting for both couples. I just thought it was brilliantly acted, written. I just thought there were moments that I was tearing up. I just thought I'm giving it a 10. I'm giving it a 10. And I didn't think anything could beat A Reason for the Season, because that got a strong 9 over there on Miracles of Christmas. But then when I saw A Dance in the Snow, I was like, yes. So anyway, as Melanie is running the Possible Center, Jenny's last school dance is coming up, the last school dance of the year. She doesn't like falling snow because of an incident that happened when she was a child, when they got into a car accident and she wandered off into the snow. The snow started to fall, and ever since, she's terrified of falling snow. Well, at the school dance the year before, they had fake falling snow in the gymnasium, and it really triggered Jenny. So this year, Jenny doesn't want to go to the dance, but Melanie's like, you're my daughter. This school is about inclusion. They should be able to do things for you to make you feel included in this event, which I agree. So both Jenny and Melanie come up with an idea where they need to create their own dance. Melanie takes on the school board with the help of Jenny's teacher, Daniel, and then she starts to plan it. She's going to plan a silent disco, which, by the way, as a person that really loves to party and loves clubs and lounges, even now, I love the idea of a silent disco. You get to listen what you want to, or you listen to the music at the volume you want to. The volume that you want to. We don't all have to leave with less hearing than what we came into. So I love the idea of a silent disco. I think it's who's come up with the idea. I've heard of it in the Hallmark movies on cruises. We saw that in a confession of a Christmas letter, that the grandparents had gone on a cruise and they had a silent disco and they had a blast. So now it's the family tradition. I think this is like a wonderful thing. Anyway, Jenny and Melanie are each planning their own dance, and they want to surprise the other person. Daniel, Jenny's teacher, Melanie's love interest, finds out that both of them are planning their own dance, but it turns out Jenny's is even better. She gets to use Will's family's barn and redecorate it with Will and her friends, and it's just spectacular. Melanie had 2 days before that dance came, and it didn't look like much. But honest to God, what Jenny and her friends accomplished was beautiful. Anyway, they find out that each other are planning this dance. Jenny gets upset because she feels like Melanie never listens to her. She didn't want to go to that school dance. She was perfectly fine with planning her own. And I feel her on that. Melanie is being the good helicopter mom that she is, but she's realizing Jenny is growing up. Jenny wants to go to college across country and go to Hollinger and enter this great literary program, and she's so good at everything that she does. And Melanie ultimately decides that Jenny is a young adult and she can handle the challenges of autism, and even if something happens, Melanie can be there in a heartbeat to be there with her. Okay, I think A Dance in the Snow is definitely worth watching. I give it a 10 out of 10. I felt emotions. I've rewatched it since. I thought Erica, Vanessa, and Mark did an excellent job, along with the young man that played Will. I just thought it was beautiful watching both mother and daughter fall in love at the same time, and yet try to maneuver all the new challenges in their life. I just kept saying, they're so stinking cute. And you wouldn't even know which couple I was talking about. But I do ultimately think Jenny and Will were the cutest. Oh, and finally, Jenny learns not to be afraid of the snow, thanks to Will. And she is out there dancing in the snow outside of that beautiful barn with her new sexy little boyfriend. Okay, Jenny, I see you. Okay, that's this review. Y'all let me know if you tuned into A Dance in the Snow. If you haven't, you really should. I think this time Hallmark nailed it. I'm in my feels. It's part of my collection. I will be rewatching it. And I think that is a huge, just a huge compliment to everyone that put energy into this production. All right, stay tuned for the next review.